Okay, let's talk about the third big game of the weekend, the Sunday night matchup. Notre Dame versus Miami. Notre Dame favored by 2.5 points. Game is at Miami. Over under 49.5. This game is at Hard Rock Stadium. And it's almost not getting talked about enough because I think it's really interesting and on par with these other two games. It's also a top 10 game. Miami is number 10 in the preseason poll.
The issue is everybody's looking at the college football schedule and they don't turn the page to Sunday.
Yeah,
and so they just completely don't even see it up there.
That is probably part of it. You've also got new quarterbacks here. That's kind of the theme, right? All of these, blue blood programs breaking in first-year starters, or at least first-year starters for them. Carson Beck, Miami, and Notre Dame, it's CJ Carr. Before we get to your thoughts on them, got some comments from Marcus Freeman. Finally spoke to the media about the decision. Now, we know it was a really close competition with him and Kenny Minchey. And I think there were a lot of people who were really surprised, especially the beat writers and some of the people who were talking to people in camp, because I think they almost felt like Minchey was even leading the competition. Marcus Freeman said that they both improved in training camp and both found ways to elevate, but he needed to make a decision. He told them that he's going to need both of them and they need to be mature enough to handle that decision, understand that they're chasing their full potential, no matter if you're named the starting quarterback or you're the backup quarterback. You have to continue to work. That's it. That's not the ultimate goal, is to be named starter. It's to be the best version of you, and both of you have gone to work. Now, he said that he picked CJ Carr, talked about the leadership capabilities and, walking into this environment at Miami in week one, just taking the reins of the offense. And I think that's why he named the starting quarterback when he did, to try to give almost 2 weeks
for sure
to build that leadership capability, knowing that you're the starter. He said that Kenny Minchey was disappointed, but after a day or so, he knew that he, could kind of, come together and be a better version of Kenny. He's mature and using this as a motivator, but he will put the work in and be ready when his number is called. And I knew that when I made the decision. So it almost feels like he thought Kenny Minchey could handle that position better.
Yeah.
Of being the backup or have packages and need to plug into a game.
So I think that there's an interesting psychology of that. I remember in 2015 we had JT Barrett and Cardale Jones both coming back, and Cardale got the pill to start the season. And I think part of that was if Cardale wouldn't have got the start, there was a higher likelihood that he could have checked out. Maybe his preparation wouldn't have been as dialed in than JT Barrett, who was going to come to work and do everything that he needed to do. So I think there's part of that. But there's this interesting, on the field aspect of maybe Notre Dame looked at their offense and they said, we were too reliant on a quarterback who has really good legs, and we were too reliant on a run game, and we didn't do enough to try to challenge on the outside. And with CJ, we can do that. But we always know if we want to throw the change up, we can go to Kenny.
True.
And so maybe there was part of that comes along with it too.
Or just that you have Jeremiah Love.
Right.
And so even in these big games, because obviously Miami and then A&M at home, there's not going to be a ton that's asked of the quarterback and their arm.
No doubt.
You're going to be putting the running backs, especially Love, in position to kind of set the tone for this game. Your defense is going to be good. So maybe there's some of that, and you just believe that over the course of the season, CJ Carr has a higher ceiling and that he'll get you where you ultimately need to be. This was also a big deal for Marcus Freeman not to go in the portal, to have the homegrown quarterback. No, either way, right? But, CJ Carr was looked at as the quarterback of the future for this program. Lloyd Carr's grandson, we know the pedigree. So that is something that I'm really interested to see, how much they actually throw it. What are they going to ask of him against a Miami defense that, speaking of defenses that need to get better, that defense cost them a trip to the college football playoff a year ago.
100%. They wasted Cam Ward.
Wasted him.
With an awful defense. So they get Heatherman, who is coming from Minnesota, and he, to me, can be that difference maker. I'm just not sure that it's turn around immediately and that it happens in week one. I have a lot of questions about Miami generally, the defense, as you mentioned, which I think they're going to be phenomenal up front.
I think they're going to obviously take a big step.
I think they should take a step, but again, is it one of those things where you have a couple bad plays in a row and it's oh, here we go again? I've seen that happen. And then offensively,
the Carson Beck experiment.
I think their offensive line is going to be good.
Yeah.
I think they'll be able to run it a little bit. But Carson Beck, the last time we saw him, did not even look like himself. We thought this dude was the number 1 overall pick, the best quarterback in college football. and he looked insanely bad.
Speaking of preseason Heisman favorites, he was one of them last year. Okay, so let me give you the stats. 2 years ago, when he had a great year at Georgia, 24 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Again, coming into last year, you're thinking, okay, that's the baseline for Carson Beck. Last year, 28 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and 9 over a 4-game stretch in the middle of the season. It was, and they were really bad, a lot of them. Like sometimes
awful.
You're like, okay, it's not the quarterback's fault. A lot of those were quarterback's fault.
100%. And
he wasn't seeing the field well.
Again, like, his wide receivers weren't catching anything
Also
anyway.
true.
So like
Also
it
true.
was everything bad that could have happened to a quarterback. He was chasing ghosts. His supporting cast wasn't that good.
So are they going to be better this year? Like is a better version of Carson Beck going to show up at Miami?
I don't know. It felt like it was last year was so mental, and it's hard for me to know if he's gotten to a place where he feels confident again.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks, like the whole game for them is confidence.
Change of scenery might help.
It certainly can help.
Again, I'm
Now,
with you on the offensive line. This is
Miami
Mario
is a
Cristobal.
change of scenery that could also be a distraction too. So
Fair.
It's tough.
But Mario Cristobal, offensive line guy,
Yep.
he is going to have that protection. So, maybe it'll look different too than just Cam Ward trying to run around and keep a play going because that's what their offense was last year.
It was insane.
But yeah, who's he going to throw the ball to? Are they going to be able to run the ball? Like, what does the offense look like? And can he kind of make the right reads, make right decisions? It's going to be fascinating. And I would not want to face a Notre Dame defense right out of the gate, who, by the way, they have a new coordinator in Chris Ash, who we both know well.
Yes.
But I was talking to him this week about this. It's still the Notre Dame defense, right? Like, you're not tweaking or changing that much. You're looking on the margins, but you know that you have incredible talent, especially, really all 3 levels.
Yeah. I mean, people who know Chris Ash and his background, they anticipate that he's a guy who came in to help Notre Dame change up into different blitzes and into some zones. Because Notre Dame played man-to-man a ton last year, and we saw in the national championship, man-to-man got him a little bit when the matchup wasn't great.
He told us in the spring that was it's that kind of tweaking, right?
So,
it's not really wholesale changes to the defense.
And he can do it too. I played for the guy. He's a phenomenal coordinator.
He's also coming off of a couple years in the NFL where he was like really evaluating personnel in a different way in what he was doing. And so that was really interesting too, of like, how you're watching film, how you're giving individual player evaluations and development. So Miami is the underdog in this game. Did I just lose okay, Notre Dame favored by 2.5 points. I think Notre Dame covers.
I'm going with Notre Dame to cover.
Okay,
as
see,
well.
it's good I picked LSU so that we had a little bit of differences here.
Notre Dame's a more trustworthy team to me right now.
I agree. I also think that they could lose this one, beat A&M. Like, I think they're at the very least splitting these games.
Right.
But that one's at home, and we'll get to that later in the season.